Hello YouTube, this is Corm22, and today's 100-point squad build will be focusing on the Imperial faction. This build will be using the TIE Phantom, the TIE Interceptor, and 2 TIE Fighters. Now, the idea behind this build is a mix between synergy and deception. See, here's how it'll work. The TIE Phantom will basically be moving on its own. It'll start out cloaked and move around the battlefield. Will move around the battlefield pretty much unseen, while the TIE Interceptor Squadron, well, TIE Interceptor and TIE Fighter Squadron, I should say, will pretty much be doing all the battling and driving opponents into good firing positions for the TIE Phantom to decloak, attack, and then cloak again and run away. So, like I said, it's a bit of a synergy build between the TIE Interceptor and TIE Fighters with the TIE Phantom, but mostly the TIE Phantom will be doing all of the finishing blows. So that being said, let's move on to the upgrades. Now this build's kind of a simple build to start with. Most of the upgrades have gone to the TIE Phantom because he'll be the one doing most of the lone wolfing, I should say. Whereas the TIE Interceptor Squadron, the TIE Squadron here, will be doing most of the main fighting and keeping the opponents distracted. So with that said, let's move on to the first ship, which is Ekko. Focus. There we go. Ekko has a pilot skill of 6. He flies the Sonar Fleet System's TIE Phantom. He has an attack value of 4, an agility value of 2, a hull value of 2, and a shield value of 2. He can take on the Focus, Barrel Roll, Evade, and Cloaking action. He costs 30 Squadron points. He's also able to take on the Elite Pilot Talent upgrade, a Sensor upgrade, and a Co-Pilot upgrade. His ability states, when you decloak, you use the Bank Left 2 or Bank Right 2 template instead of the Straight 2 template. So basically what this means is TIE Phantoms are the only ship in the game that can cloak, and their abilities can be quite overkill. However, normally when a TIE Phantom decloaks, it has to use the Straight Ahead 2 template and either goes 2 forward, 2 to the side, or 2 in front. With Ekko, you use the Banking 2 maneuver to come out of your cloak, and depending on where you come out, it can pretty much put you right in position for an attack, or if you're not careful, it can put you in a very dangerous spot and have all other ships converge on you. So, his ability by itself is pretty impressive, but the upgrades I've given him will make him even more of a formidable fighter. So, to start off, his first upgrade will be a modification called Advanced Cloaking Device. It's an upgrade exclusive only to the TIE Phantom, and it states, after you perform an attack, you may perform a free cloaking action. So what this means is that after Ekko comes out of cloak and moves, because when you decloak, you decloak before the enemy all your ships move. After you come out of cloak, you perform your attack on an enemy ship, and normally after you attack, you would have to wait till your next turn to do a cloak after you move, because it's counted as an action. With Advanced Cloaking Device, immediately after you attack, you can cloak right back in, and the enemy won't know what hit them. Now with cloaking, your agility value goes up by 2. However, the trade-off is you cannot fire back. So when you're cloaked, your agility value goes up to 4, but your attack value is rendered useless until after you decloak. So that's his kind of defensive ability. That's kind of one of his defensive upgrades. His second upgrade is the pilot skill, the Elite Pilot Talent, Lone Wolf. I gotta get this to focus, please. Focus. Anyway, so yeah, I've given him the Lone Wolf talent. It states, when attacking or defending, if there are no other friendly ships at range 1 to 2, you may reroll one of your blank results. So this basically means this particular card is perfect for the TIE Phantom, because he'll be moving around on his own a lot. Like, he's going to be, as the card says, he will be the lone wolf of the group. So what this upgrade enables him to do is, as long as he keeps range 3 of every other ship in his squadron, if he's attacking and defending, if he gets a blank, he can reroll that blank for an extra saving throw or an extra hit, or for an extra saving hit, so to speak. Now for his next upgrade, for his sensors, I've given him a sensor jammer. The Sentry Jammer states, when defending, you may change one of your attacker's hit results to a focus result. The attacker cannot reroll the die with the changed result. So this adds more defense to your TIE Phantom. This will make it so that, say your enemy's attacking with, say he's attacking with a Y-wing who has an attack value of 2. He rolls a hit and a blank. When you roll your defense die, you can use Sensor Jammer to change the Y-wing's hit result to a focus, and the attacker cannot change that roll with the focus tokens or rerolls. So that pretty much this adds more defense to your TIE Phantom, because again, he's the lone wolf of the group, so he's probably going to be targeted the most, even while he's cloaked. Because even though you're cloaked, your agility goes up, but you're not invincible. So you got to take measures to make sure that, well, your ship doesn't get shot down early in the game. Next, for his co-pilot slot, we have Tactician. Tactician states, after you perform an attack against a ship that is inside your firing arc at range 2, that ship receives a stress token. So, the idea behind the TIE Interceptor now is to keep at range 3 of your allies, but at range 2 of your opponents. You won't get an attack buff, and the enemy won't get a defense buff, but if your attack hits, but this ability makes it so that even if your attack misses, the enemy will still get stressed because of the Tactician. This will limit your opponent's capability to move, and he'll either be forced to use a green maneuver, which will probably leave him more open, or the enemy will be forced to keep that stress token and limit his abilities and his actions. So that's the build for the TIE Phantom, known as Ekko. Let's move on to the TIE Fighter. Let's move on to the TIE Fighter Squadron I got here. For the TIE Interceptor leading the group, I have chosen Fel's Wrath. He has a pilot skill of 5, and he flies the Sinar Fleet System's TIE Interceptor. He has an attack value of 3, an agility value of 3, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 0. He can take on the Focus, Barrel Roll, Boost, and Evade action. He has a pilot skill of 23, or he has a cost of 23, and he is unable to take any upgrades to his ship. His ability states, when the number of damage cards you assign to you equals or exceeds your hull value, you are not destroyed until the end of the combat phase. So what Fel's Wrath does, Fel's Wrath's strength, is that he takes the same pilot skill, the same pilot skill rule, where if two ships with the same pilot skill are attacking, if one of them is destroyed, the ship that will be destroyed gets to attack back before it's destroyed. With Fel's Wrath, it takes that rule to an even bigger level. This basically states it doesn't matter the enemy's pilot skill. If Fel's Wrath's damage card exceeds his hull value, he is not destroyed until the end of the combat phase, meaning he can still counterattack. Now, Fel's Wrath, as impressive as he is, cannot take any upgrades. He can, however, take a modification. So, for an added boost in defense, I've given him a shield upgrade. This increases his shield value increases the TIE Interceptor's shield value by 1, meaning that Fel's Wrath now has 4 hit points as opposed to 3. He has 3 hull and 1 shield. This allowed him to take 1 extra hit and ensure that he survives as long as he can in the fight. And for the final 2 cards, I've chosen Obsidian Squadron pilots. They have a pilot skill of 3. They fly the standard Sinar Fleet System's TIE Fighter. They have an attack value of 2, an agility value of 3, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 0. They can take on the Focus, Barrel Roll, and Evade action, and they cost 13 squadron points. Much like Fel's Wrath, they cannot take any upgrade slots, and because this is a common pilot, he does not get an ability. So these guys are strictly wingmen and supporting attackers to Fel's Wrath. So, this is my combination synergy and deception build. Now, this build strengths. Well, the only real strengths I can see is that the TIE Fighters here will be moving as a group, and thanks to Fel's Wrath's shield upgrade, he'll be able to take 1 extra hit with the TIE Fighters. And also, Fel's Wrath ability will make sure that he stays in the fight even after he's destroyed. with the TIE Phantom, it's made the strength in this ability, this Ekko, or this build, is he flies in, he attacks, immediately cloaks after he attacks, and depending if he hits or misses, Tactician will still deal a stress to his opponent. Lone Wolf will make it so that as long as he's in range 3, he can still reroll one of his blanks, and Sensor Jammer will add extra defense for when the enemy is attacking by changing one of the hit results to a focus and not being able to change that focus with rerolls or with focus tokens. Now, the build's weaknesses. The build's obvious weakness is the fact that these ships, while impressive as they are, they're TIE fighters. These guys cannot take a hit worth a damn. So you got to make sure you hit hard and you hit fast, and have really lucky hits, really lucky rolls in your evades. Because chances are, with the TIE fighters, you are bound to lose at least one or both of these TIE fighters. So the main point of this thing is to keep at least Fel's Wrath and Ekko alive, whereas the Obsidian Squadron pilots are they're just there for support. It doesn't really matter if those two ships are destroyed, but Fel's Wrath and Ekko are definitely vital to this. Fel's Wrath and Ekko are definitely vital to this build, especially Ekko, because he's the one that's going to be doing most of the backstabbing, so to speak. So yeah, this is my build. Feel free to copy this build or modify it to your own unique specifications. Any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. And yeah, this is Core 22, and I'll see you guys next time.